Salve, benvenuti a Insieme con Enzo di Mauro che vi saluta da Toronto. Dedichiamo questa trasmissione speciale di Insieme al pranzo con Sergio Marchionne, raccolta fondi a sostegno delle popolazioni terremotate del centro Italia. Ci trasferiamo al Monte Cassino Place di Toronto. Gli ospiti d'onore hanno fatto ingresso nel salone del Monte Cassino Place al suono della cornamusa tra gli applausi dei circa 700 partecipanti al pranzo con Sergio Marchionne. Master of Ceremonies Lenny Lombardi, presidente di Chin Radio TV.
And we come together in the spirit of compassion, charity, and support of Italy, and to give back to the country of our forefathers with gratitude, love, and respect. To all in attendance today, we want to thank you on behalf of the honorary chairs, Frank Iacobucci and Sergio Marchionne, co-chairs Sam Ciccolini and Con Danino, the organizing committee, and our special guests for your tremendous support and generosity of spirit. Thank you.
Sam Ciccolini, co-chair dell'evento, ha ringraziato quanti hanno contribuito generosamente alla raccolta fondi destinata al The Italian Earthquake Relief Fund.
On behalf of the Italian Earthquake Relief Fund, I would like to thank, first of all, Markham's Mayor Frank Scarpetti, who certainly went out of his way and raised a ton of cash for us. Consul General Giuseppe Pastorelli for organizing Sotto le Stelle, the Lazio Federation with President Marino Moscone and Una Serata per Amatrice, Tony Porretta of Lazio Federation in Una Matriciana nel Cuore, and then last but not least, Una Serata Esclusiva hosted by none other than Remo Ferry and the Remo Ferry Group of Ontario. Last but not least, Artists of Italy, organized by the Villa Charities family, and we want to thank Eligio for doing that at that time.
Sugli schermi sono state proiettate le immagini del disastroso terremoto che il 24 agosto 2016 colpì vaste aree del centro Italia.
299 people died. 388 were injured. 238 were dug out from under the rubble, some with bare hands. Now, survivors find themselves struggling with the physical and psychological traumas they have suffered. Communication and transportation are difficult, and specialist healthcare is insufficient. There is an urgent need, a gap to be filled. The Science for Life Foundation, in collaboration with the Vatican, presented the Telehealth Points Project, a solution based on the experience of last year's Health Points initiative. The project strengthens the affected areas with special mobile hospital units equipped with telemedicine capabilities.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce that 2 of the telehealth units will be funded by our organization.
La famiglia Varone, proprietaria del Monte Cassino Place, ha dato un notevole contributo alla raccolta fondi.
Canadians are a caring people. Those of us in this room are here because we care. Many of us are Canadians of Italian heritage, and as such care about the tragic events of central Italy. The images of the total and complete devastation of towns and villages left an indelible mark on all of us. We are here today as Canadians to raise money for those victims. We are here today as Canadians following your lead of tolerance and caring. We are here today as Canadians doing the best we can to make a better world for all. On behalf of the Italian Earthquake Relief Fund, I thank you, Prime Minister, for accepting our invitation to break bread and share with us your time. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honourable Justin Trudeau.
Il primo ministro del Canada, the Right Honourable Justin Trudeau, ha promesso fino a $2 milioni alla raccolta fondi per la ricostruzione.
Thank you, Tony, for that kind introduction and to your leadership and your wonderful hosting job this afternoon. I want to offer my own thanks as well to Sergio Marchioni for being here today and for lending his name to both this wonderful pranzo and to this important cause. Born in Chieti, educated here in Canada, and now working for Fiat Chrysler in the UK, Sergio has the unique distinction of being one of Canada's best imports and best exports. Thank you, Sergio, for being here today. The relationship between Canada and Italy is a very special one. I was very glad to have the opportunity to sit down and catch up with Prime Minister Gentiloni when he visited Ottawa last month. I think one of the reasons we felt such an immediate rapport is because our citizens have so much in common. Canada is home to just over 35 million Canadians, 1.5 million of whom identify as Italian Canadian. And as our history has shown, and as today's event proves, when Italians have made the difficult choice to leave their homeland and settle here, we have always been the better for it. And that's why I'm happy not only to be able to celebrate the success of the Italy Earthquake Relief Fund, but to announce the Government of Canada's intention to match your donations for this cause. The Government of Canada will provide up to $2 million in matching funds. Which will, of course, double the amount we can all give towards earthquake relief. But the final amount is up to all of you.
La Premier Kathleen Wynne ha annunciato che la provincia dell'Ontario contribuirà al fondo con la somma di $250.000.
Today is another example of the kind of province and the kind of community that we're building together. You all exemplify that. It's a community that extends far beyond our borders because we're fortunate to be a place that the whole world calls home. And when people in Ontario heard the terrible news about the earthquakes and the devastation in Italy, the Italian community here in Ontario sprang into action. I'm happy to say that the Ontario government is committing $250,000 to the Italy Earthquake Relief Fund.
John Tory, sindaco di Toronto, nel suo indirizzo di saluto ha ringraziato Sergio Marchionne per aver dato lustro all'evento e gli organizzatori per la lodevole iniziativa umanitaria.
Thank you, and it's thank you to Sergio Marchionne for being here and for supporting this event. It's thank you to the organizers, both my friends Sam and Con and all the people they acknowledged that had worked with them. And thank you to the Government of Canada, Prime Minister Trudeau, and the Government of Ontario, Premier Kathleen Wynne, for the announcements that they've made today.
State seguendo la trasmissione speciale a pranzo con Sergio Marchionne, il discorso del dottor Marchionne, subito dopo i messaggi dei nostri patrocinatori.
Hello, my name is John Verdoni. I have been serving the Italian community for more than 30 years for memorable weddings and social events, both at the Park Markham and the Brighton Event Center. I look forward to continue serving you in the future.
Insieme è patrocinato in parte da Malpac delle famiglie Emanuele Di Pietro e Tony Galea, industria leader in Canada nella produzione di materie plastiche. Insieme è patrocinato in parte da Thorncrete Group of Companies di John e Ross Ruscica.
Zia Sabrina's car needs new tires so that she can take Amelia to Nana's house.
Okay, we'll install Michelin tires on her car too.
Don't forget new tires for Nana Rose's car.
Yes, Michelin tires for Nona Rosa's car.
Alla Ventresca Travel Agency, specializzata in viaggi di nozze, crociere e viaggi per famiglie, grazie all'esperienza di Franco Ventresca e dei suoi consulenti, ogni viaggio rimane per sempre. Chiamate con fiducia Ventresca Travel Agency 416 745 1145. Sono state indette per il 14 luglio 2017 le elezioni per il rinnovo del Comites. Per votare occorre compilare il modulo sul sito www.constoronto.esteri.it e farlo pervenire al consolato, seguendo le istruzioni, entro il 14 giugno 2017.
Now on to what we've been waiting for, today's keynote talk. For this introduction, I call upon none other than Fausto Gaudio, President and CEO of IC Savings. Fausto?
Thank you, Lenny. Born in Abruzzo, Italy, and growing up and educated in Toronto and Windsor, Canada, Mr. Sergio Marchionne has an extensive list of achievements and credentials. Also a lawyer and certified general accountant, the accomplished executive is best known for his turnaround of Fiat and later Chrysler, which ultimately led to the creation of the global automaker Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. Known for his finely tuned business instincts and straight style talking, he's a rare leader who runs multiple companies, including Ferrari, CNH Industrial, and SGS, while lending his time and expertise to several boards, such as Philip Morris International and JP Morgan International Council. Ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely an honor to introduce today's keynote speaker. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sergio Marchionne.
Thanks very much. Thank you for that introduction. I just got tired listening to all the things that I'm doing, but anyway. Good afternoon to you all. I'd like to say a true special thanks to the Right Honorable Justin Trudeau for finding the time in his busy agenda to be here with us today. Prime Minister, it is an honor to have you here. I want you to know that we appreciate your support for this good cause, and even more than that, for what you're doing to ensure that this country has a better future. I would also like to thank the Honourable Kathleen Wynne for being here, in addition to thanking you for all the work you're doing on green mobility, which I think is helpful. We have all seen Ontario's recovery in recent years under your leadership and how much the province has benefited from the language of growth and investment that you have championed. I want to thank all the other dignitaries, the ministers, the elected officials, the dear friends, both Italian and Canadian, who are sharing this special event here with us. Being here today holds a great deal of significance for me personally. I was reflecting on this last night during the flight from Turin to Detroit. Not only does it provide me the opportunity to share some insights on the car industry, my work, and at present essentially my whole life, but it also represents a coming together of so many aspects of my own past and my own personal journey that I feel reconnected with some of my most precious memories. Most of all, the dual significance of being here in Toronto, the home of my youth, for a fundraising initiative for Italy, where I was born and raised until the age of 14. And at that point in life, about almost 50 years ago, my family decided to move from Abruzzo to Toronto, specifically to the St. Clair Avenue area in the heart of the Italian quarter of the city. And like so many others, we came in search of new opportunities and a better quality of life. And those of you who have had similar experiences will understand when I say that the journey was neither without struggles nor without difficulties. Starting from scratch in an unknown land with a foreign language is never easy. It's even more challenging when you're going through all of this and still going through the pains of adolescence. But we were all helped by the spirit that pervades Canada, the spirit of an open, of a multicultural and cosmopolitan society, where the only limits to what you can achieve are your own talent, your courage, and your commitment to transform your dreams into reality. So making new friends helped ease the transition and open me to new horizons. And some people you meet during your life, some rare people, become naturally connected to you. And the bond that you develop with those people is so deep and authentic that no matter how often you see each other, it is always like the conversation was only interrupted just a minute before. As I look around today, I'm gratified to see the faces of some of those people, those very special people in the room today. Now, the second reason I'm pleased to be here is to play a part in raising funds for the Italy Earthquake Relief Fund. 7 years have passed since, under the same leadership that has brought us here today, we gathered together in another fundraiser to assist the survivors of the earthquake in Abruzzo. Nature has delivered devastation once again, and this time to even more regions of central Italy. And so when my good friends Condonino, Sam Ciccolini and Paul Di Giulio asked me if I could take part in today's initiative, I did not hesitate for a second. Actually, I want to thank them for giving me the opportunity once again to be of some help. I also want to say a special thank you to the main sponsors of this event. They are an outstanding example of how you can be successful in business and still care deeply about making life better for so many people, whether they live in local communities or even abroad. Now, it is painful for me personally to see the place where I spent my early years so severely damaged by the earthquake. And perhaps many of you have also had family roots in central Italy, maybe even relatives and friends who live in the area and whose lives were devastated in a matter of seconds. And yet we've seen the incredible resilience and the dignity of the survivors. The purpose of today's event is to give them some tangible assistance to rebuild and a measure of hope. They're relying on us to give them the chance they deserve to get back up on their feet. And in that spirit, I want to thank all of you for being here and for providing your support for these Italians in need. Now, today I've been asked to offer some perspective on the future of the automotive industry, and also, strangely enough, on the world of politics and where I see current events taking us. I've lived long enough to know that forecasting what is to come is a very perilous occupation. As Niels Bohr, the Nobel laureate in physics, said, prediction is very, very difficult, especially if it's about the future. And so what I can do, however, is to share my thoughts on the factors that are likely to shape the years to come, and with those factors in mind, how we as automakers should be approaching this journey. Starting with the auto industry, what is clear is that we are on the threshold of the biggest revolution in personal mobility since the automobile replaced the horse and buggy. The Austrian economist Schumpeter postulated the concept of creative destruction as the key ingredient of capitalism, a process whereby new market entrants or current but restructured ones are incessantly nurtured with the sole objective of destroying the established participants. At the dawn of the 20th century, more than 60% of Canadians lived on farms. Today, only 2% live on farms, and they produce more food than ever. The automobile itself was once the embodiment of the principle of creative destruction. In the early 20th century, as horses gave way to cars, carriage makers and blacksmiths became nearly obsolete. But the new industry spawned millions of jobs in almost every sector. And since the beginning of the motorized age, the auto industry has been able to control its own destiny. Yes, we've been subjected to regulation, and emissions and safety have taken an increasingly important role in our business. There have been very many instances in which we have made poor decisions, and I've historically criticized this industry for its penchant for destroying capital and destroying shareholder value. But we've always had the freedom to choose how to organize and how to run our business. We've always responded as we deemed fit. And we've been through good and bad times as a consequence of our choices, and because of those choices, we have died, and sometimes even with the help of people on this podium, we've been resurrected more than once. But despite all of that, we were never threatened from without. We now are. Today, our competition includes companies that come from the outside of our industry and are adopting entirely different formulas for success. And so the speed for innovation of transportation and disruption is rewriting the rules of engagement in the automotive industry. So a vast new frontier is opening up before us, but the transition will be painful for many of us. The biggest mistake we can make is to imagine that our historical ability to survive is any guarantee for the future. And so every time I open up for Q&A, whether the audience is made up of college students, investors, or other corporate executives, there are two questions that always come up. The first is about the prospects I see for electric vehicles, and the second is about self-driving cars. Now, the proliferation of alternative forms of propulsion is largely the result of an emerging global awareness that carbon emissions are a key contributing factor to climate change. Reducing our dependence on oil is one of the single greatest challenges that our society faces over the next few years. But we need to be absolutely clear that there's no single solution and no magic formula that will resolve this problem. So we need to be realistic and we need to be practical. Electric vehicles may appear to be a technological marvel, but this technology is a double-edged sword. The truth is that forcing the introduction of electric vehicles at a global level without first resolving the issue of how to produce clean energy represents a major threat to the very existence of this planet.
Lusinghieri commenti di varie personalità presenti al pranzo con Sergio Marchionne a sostegno delle popolazioni terremotate del centro Italia.
Una bella giornata perché la nostra gente, anche se vengono da tante regioni, per cui dal Friuli fino alla Sicilia, si sono stretti intorno alla nostra terra, e questo è una grande testimonianza perché dimostra che il tricolore è nel cuore di queste persone, per cui oggi è un tributo degli italiani in Canada alla nostra Italia. Sono molto contento e questi gesti rappresentano la nostra forza. Oggi torno in Italia con la consapevolezza ancora di più che noi siamo un grande popolo. Grazie.
Enzo, grazie mille per questa opportunità. Come ha visto, qui a Monte Cassino è pieno di partecipanti. Significa abbiamo raccolti, speriamo, una somma abbastanza grande per aiutare i nostri familiari, i nostri amici che hanno sofferto così tanto con questi terremoti che hanno distrutto tante della nostra bella Italia, principalmente l'Italia centrale. Sono contentissimo che è stata una giornata così bella, con un successo grande. Devo con tutto il cuore ringraziare Sergio Marchionne di nuovo, perché è lui che è stato il star di questo pranzo, e spero che continueremo nei prossimi mesi, anni, qualsiasi tempo che ci serve per fare quello che dobbiamo fare come nostro dovere per la comunità in Italia che sta soffrendo in un modo inimmaginabile. È una tragedia così grande che il nostro dovere deve essere di fare il più possibile di aiutarli.
It's an honor and a pleasure to do this in the spirit of our family, in the memory of my father. It's what he would have done and what he would have wanted. Thank you.
This has been a fantastic event. To have the Prime Minister, to have the Premier, to have the Mayor of the city, all in, and then to have a fantastic world-class event with a world-class speaker in Sergio Marchionne was absolutely incredible. I don't think I've ever been to an event that I found so enjoyable, so inspirational, and so to remind us of our roots, and for those people in Italy who faced the earthquakes, and to remember them at this time. It all came together in a way that makes us proud to be Canadian, proud to be part of our Italian heritage, and to see and be among so wonderful people, so many wonderful people and so many wonderful friends. It was a great event, and I congratulate the organizers in every way.
Guardi, è una grandissima dimostrazione dell'affetto che abbiamo verso l'Italia, gente che qui da anni, che non ha mai dimenticato le origini e continua a fare quello che è necessario, quindi sono orgoglioso.
Lei è il perfetto esempio.
Non lo so se sono perfetto, sono un esempio di cosa si può fare. Bella giornata.
E la Fiat?
La Fiat va bene, grazie.
Buongiorno a tutti gli amici, grazie ad Enzo. Siamo qui a Monte Cassino Place in celebrazione di una raccolta fonda per i terremotati dall'Italia, dal centro Italia. Io ho avuto l'occasione di passare per Amatrice, ho visto quello che è successo lì 2 giorni dopo, e oggi siamo qui che abbiamo raccolto circa 3 milioni di dollari, incluso quello che ha donato lo Stato canadese. Siamo qui con Sergio Marchione della Fiat Chrysler e oggi è una bellissima giornata, siamo oltre 600 persone, è veramente un grande successo. Grazie.
Siamo qui al Monte Cassino Place dove abbiamo assistito al pranzo con Sergio Marchione insieme al primo ministro del Canada Trudeau, alla premier Kathleen Wynne, sono venuti per aiutare a raccogliere fondi per il terremoto nell'Italia centrale. Con circa 700 persone presenti, non sappiamo ancora quanto abbiamo raccolto perché ancora stiamo contando, diciamo, gli ammonti, però vorrei ringraziare a tutti che hanno partecipato, sia i nostri ospiti d'onore e particolarmente quelli che hanno organizzato, quelli che hanno partecipato con la loro presenza e i loro soldi. Grazie per averci seguito in questa edizione speciale di Insieme dedicata al pranzo con Sergio Marchionne, una raccolta fondi a favore delle popolazioni terremotate del centro Italia. Vi do appuntamento alla prossima edizione di Insieme verso il futuro.